Ohio State just landed a wrecking ball in the middle. Khary Wilder is a Buckeye.
You are Locked On Buckeyes, your daily podcast on the Ohio State Buckeyes. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome in, Buckeye fans, to a bonus episode of Locked On Buckeyes, which is your daily Ohio State podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I'm your host, Jay Stevens, veteran sports talk host, delivering passionate coverage about your Buckeyes. And during this Buckeye Blitz, we will discuss how many defensive linemen Larry Johnson needs to go after and land in the 2026 cycle. But first, so far, Ohio State's recruiting class has been solid. They got a strong foundation, like we have mentioned, all throughout the offseason. 3 offensive linemen, 4 receivers, just got I believe a running back to commit. I mean, you're getting a lot of solid guys, a lot of players that are going to be able to be really good down the road. But there was a glaring hole with this recruiting class so far, and it was on the defensive line. And that's a position of need, not just a position of need because every single year you want to try to beef up and have a lot of beef in your recruiting class, but because you look at Ohio State's roster, they desperately need some guys, some stronger guys to come out of high school to compete with the older guys. Well, they got their first commitment on the defensive line recently. His name is Khary Wilder, a 4-star defensive lineman from all the way out there in California. And this young man recently took an official visit to Ohio State. Larry Johnson, Matt Patricia were the leaders in recruiting this talented defensive lineman. And they got a guy. They got a dog. They got a game record. They got a guy out there on the football field at 3 Tech. He's going to put his hands on you. He is explosive at the line of scrimmage. He is going to make sure that you are not going to be the aggressor, and he is going to make you fall into his will, not him fall into your will for him. And I love what I get from this young man. And when you look at his height and his weight, you may want to say, Jay, is he the biggest guy? When you say a bruiser and explosive, what kind of frame does he have? 6'4", 260 pounds, heading into his final year of playing high school football. He's being recruited as an edge. It wouldn't shock me at all if he was playing inside at 3 Tech or on the edge. Now, the edge thing is a little bit interesting because you kind of expect for Ohio State to beef up any guy coming into Columbus, Ohio. And so if he beefs up from 260, he might be too heavy to play edge. But also it might be depending upon what Matt Patricia wants moving forward. Let's say Matt Patricia stays at Ohio State for 2 years. And in year 2, he doesn't stick with the base 4-2-5. He runs more of a 3-man front with a hybrid guy on the outside. Then if you beef up Khary Wilder, he could play on the edge and be that outside D tackle over 5 Tech, I believe. But I think for what Ohio State normally uses, he'd be fine on the inside. And I would encourage everybody, like we always do, go out there and watch the film and try to use your own eyes to describe to yourself what this young man does. But his impact to me on the recruiting class is very simple. Not only his explosive nature and his quick feet and his power that he has at the line of scrimmage, and him being a multi-sport athlete, going and playing basketball as well. Before we get there, I mean, his stats also just on the basketball court, but on the football field, talk about him getting better year after year after year. He played 8 games in 2025, averaged 11.4 points a game and 9.8 rebounds a game, 1.5 assists, 0.4 blocks, and 0.4 steals. The steals, cool. The blocks, great. But for that young man to be able to basically be a walking double-double, sign me up for that because that shows a little bit of his nature that he translates to the football field. But from his sophomore year to junior year, let's just look at these stats very quickly. 75 tackles in 2023, 86 tackles in 24, 15 TFLs. Let's just go to the junior year real quick. Played 13 games, 75 tackles, 15 TFLs, 14 sacks. In his junior year, this past year, 12 games, he had 86 tackles, 11 TFLs, and 4.5 sacks. Now, the sack number went down quite a bit by almost 10 sacks. But when you are on the scouting report, especially in high school, some teams might be able to shy you away and push you away from getting all those sacks. But his presence is still felt on the field. 10-plus TFLs the past couple of years and almost 90 tackles this past year as well as only 12 games. But this young man, what he adds to the Buckeyes' 26 recruiting class is huge. The Buckeyes currently have the number 2 overall recruiting class via 247 Sports composite rankings, only behind USC, which it wouldn't shock me if at the end of the day, where USC currently has 28 commitments and Ohio State has 15, it wouldn't shock me if Ohio State found a way to jump USC, where Ohio State has 2 5-stars verbally committed and USC currently has 1. Ohio State has 11 4-stars verbally committed and USC has 17. But if you look at their average score per player, Ohio State is a full point, almost a full point and a half higher than USC. And so I get USC's number and they're the number 1 recruiting class right now. I would be shocked if that was the way things were at the end of the day. But for the recruiting class, he is the 15th verbal commit. I love what he brings to the table. I can't wait to see what happens in the future. But also, you got to get a guy like this, a dog like this in the middle or anywhere on the defensive line. You want him right there because once you get one, that kind of opens the door for other guys to say, oh, he's playing at Ohio State. Maybe I want to go there as well. There are some other guys that want to play at Ohio State, and there are some other guys on the D-line that Ohio State needs to go after. How many guys should Larry Johnson go after and land in the 26 cycle? We'll answer that question next. This episode is brought to you by FanDuel. The NBA playoffs are in full swing, and every night delivers highlight-worthy performances, major momentum shifts, and can't-miss moments. Whether it's a game-winning shot or a breakout player, there's never been a better time to get in on the action. FanDuel makes it easy to stay in the game before tip-off, and with live player props, performance trends, and same-game parlays, fans have more ways than ever to play smart and win big. New to FanDuel, it's the perfect time to sign up. Head to FanDuel.com and place your first $5 bet. If it wins, you'll get $200 in bonus bets. That's so good, I got to say it again. Are you new to FanDuel? Well, if you are, this is the perfect time to sign up. Head to FanDuel.com and place your first $5 bet. If it wins, you'll get paid $200 in bonus bets. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA. Thank you all for tapping in Locked On Buckeyes and making this show your first listen of the day. Ohio State is a great place for elite players to be. I think we would say that all as a collective unit, that if you're an elite player and you have certain skill sets that would transit to the next level at an elite level, you should come to Ohio State. Khary Wilder did. There's another young man that's his current teammate that Ohio State is trying to lure from the West Coast as well. And Duvet Williams, a 5-star corner in the class of 2027. Now, when you got Duvet Williams, who is a teammate of Wilder, who is going to get peer recruited by quarterback commit Brady Edmonds. I mean, that combination right there. Then you add in OG Walt and Matt Patricia, maybe even get Larry Johnson in that thing. I mean, the Buckeyes are really in a good spot to land Duvet Williams. I'm not going to say it's going to happen, but if it does, I wouldn't be shocked. It also wouldn't shock me if Larry Johnson does what he needs to do, which is to land at least 5 defensive linemen. Really, the number is 6. Minimum being 5 defensive linemen in the 2026 cycle. And while Wilder is being recruited as an edge, it wouldn't shock me if he split time between it being inside and being outside because of the versatility that Ryan Day and Matt Patricia want from the Buckeyes defenders. But you got to put the emphasis on what's going on in the middle. Because Ohio State can go out there and get guys on the edge in the portal. I mean, you got Bo Atkinson, you got Logan George. It wouldn't shock me if there's some other guys that are on Ohio State's radar in the portal in December where Ohio State's going out there and saying, come on over. Come on, we got a spot for you. And they look at your edge room and you're thinking, or edge position, and saying, y'all got all them dogs over there. Those guys that are unproven, but they got some untapped potential. You're saying, yeah, untapped potential, but you already got potential that's been untapped, and we want to bring your untapped potential to Ohio State. And so it's going to be very interesting to see how Ryan Day goes about navigating the portal and high school recruiting. But you can't rely on the portal. There have been schools out there, not naming names, that have tried to rely on the portal, and a lot of times it backfires. But Ryan Day's approach has been very good. It's been solid. And you got to go out there and get these guys. Larry Johnson, as great as he is as a recruiter and as great as he is as a developer of talent, he has missed on quite a few of the big-name, big-boy recruits over the past few years. I know I keep talking about Mateo Uiagalelei and Keon Keeley and Damon Wilson. What are those guys? Those guys are dogs that decided to go elsewhere to play football. Mateo Uiagalelei is the one that I think gets me the biggest because he's currently playing at Oregon. Even this past year, I believe it was Damon Wilson or Keeley, one of the two, forget the exact one, but was in the portal, and Ohio State went after them again. He ultimately went somewhere else to play the football. I truly hope, and I'm sure you do too, that Larry Johnson starts to turn the page and right some of the wrongs in regards to the recruiting, to not have all these misses, but to get some big wins. I mean, you would have thought that after Justin Fry left on the offense for the O-line job with the Arizona Cardinals, that Tyler Bourne would have come in and struggled and wouldn't have been able to make a quick mark on the recruiting trail. But he has 3 verbal commitments within a month. That's huge, man. And seeing the video, I forget when he was with one recruit, when he committed, and how excited he got. He turned the thing into a drill where he was pushing that young man like he was one of the blocking dummies. I'm here for it, man. I am here for that. I love the excitement. But you got to get it. Sometimes at some positions in some years, you just want to get quality guys, multiple quality guys. If you're going defensive line, quality. This time for Ohio State, you need quality with the quantity. 5 or 6 D linemen, 3 to 4 defensive tackles, beefy guys that you know that can translate. Maybe they take a year to redshirt, but then year 2, baby, they're ready to go. That's what they have to do. And I think moving forward, you're going to see a more intensive push while guys are on campus to not make them commit then, but to make a mark and to do different recruiting tactics to make impacts on these kids' lives. Khary Wilder took an official visit to Ohio State earlier this year, I believe during the Buckeyes' first official visit weekend. He got that impression. Matt Patricia and Larry Johnson made a long-lasting mark on him. And the next thing you know, that young man is leaving California to come be a Buckeye. I'm glad Khary Wilder is a Buckeye. And I'm looking forward to 1 or maybe 2 more guys committing throughout the rest of this week. Thank y'all for tapping in Locked On Buckeyes and making this show your first listen today. For your second listen, check out the portal, because my guy Brian Smith has the latest rumors, portal entries, and signings. Be the most informed fan on the rapid changes to the college football landscape. You can find the portal and Locked On Buckeyes on the YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts. You can follow me on any social media platform at jstevens07. Send every email to jstevens317@gmail.com. This has been Locked On Buckeyes right here on a hump day. We'll see you next time.